Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Hunts. For this momentous occasion of No Nut November, I figured I'd make things harder for my fellow brethren by reviewing a game with a silly and sexy goal. And that game is Pantsu Hunter, back to the 90s. I received a PS4 review copy from Evgeny at Sometimes You. Thanks so much, now on to the game. In Pantsu Hunter, you play as Keiji, a self-proclaimed jack of all trades and presumed master of none. He moved to the big city so he could attend university. Along the way, he realized he had a special talent, the ability to understand girls by the panties they wear. Think of it like palm reading, just with lingerie. Thus, he is now on a quest to find his one true love by rummaging through their underwear drawers. The game contains several potential lovers, such as the anime-loving Haruka, sporty tomboy Anko, and her shy sister Yukari, or the rich and popular Anna. Each scenario has the girls calling on Keiji for speciality in certain skills or occupations. However, they have ulterior motives as well, so there's much to be uncovered in the story. The game plays like a mix of a visual novel, point-and-click adventure, and a dating sim. Like I mentioned earlier, each girl has you coming over to their place to help them with a different task. When talking with them, you'll be given different choices which can affect how they feel about you and how the story progresses. There's also segments where you can investigate and interact with many of the background objects. All of these result in multiple endings that can be unlocked for each scenario, including the true endings, which will progress the story. Of course, to get the true endings, you'll need to find the panties in each stage, which are required to complete the game. This made for a lot of trial and error to discover all the possible events and endings in each route. These range from fun to interesting to odd to just plain silly. Discovering everything in each stage was fun and challenging, if not a little tedious. The game states it does not have a save feature, save for the endings or panties you find, for the sake of a more authentic retro experience. This means you'll be spending a lot of time replaying scenarios from the beginning just to get back to other choices. I understand why they did this, but it made the game sometimes a pain in the butt. Pun intended. I didn't really need to redo all the dialogue trees again just to get back to the last part I was at, so most of the time I just was skipping through it. A quick save would have been a great design choice. It does, however, make note of what you have found, so there's at least an easy way to track your progress. One aspect that needs to be highlighted is the translation. In the first chapter, it wasn't bad. There were a few minor mistakes, but it didn't hinder the experience. That takes a nosedive when getting to chapter 2, because my god, it feels like they rushed it. The rest of the chapters are all over the place too. Did they just spend so much time translating chapter 1 that they didn't have any left over for the rest of the game? Maybe each chapter had different translators and scriptwriters? I'm not sure, but the translation is a beautiful mess and added some unintentional humor to the game. The best aspect of the game, hands down, is the presentation. I love the 90s anime-influenced vaporwave aesthetic that they've chosen to go with. This concept isn't just in the art design, but in all aspects, as the story takes place in the 90s. Character art is that of 90s anime style, and it's very nostalgic and period accurate. The color tones they've chosen give a very VHS and neon feeling, and it really sets the mood. The music is all synthwave and retrowave tunes, and it's a perfect fit. The voice acting is fantastic, and really helps the game's overall lovesick feeling. Fun fact! Did you know Alyssa Park, the voice actress for Anna, is also voicing Makiko in my friend's game, Gaikokujin no Sensei, aka Foreigner Teacher? More on that later. The only oddly placed piece of the puzzle is the sound mixing. It's not particularly good, with sound effects being either too loud or too quiet, and the music sometimes overlaps the dialogue. This wouldn't be a problem if you could adjust this, but the game is incredibly lacking in settings and features. Having the option to individually control music, voiceovers, and sound effects volume levels is something I'm accustomed to and very much take advantage of in modern games. And with a game so heavily focused on its narrative, I'm kinda shocked it isn't a readily available option. All in all, the presentation is originally what sold me on the game, and it certainly delivered. Pantsu Hunter is okay. It's not going to break any new ground, but it functions well and is relatively fun to play. It's definitely a case of style over substance, where the presentation pretty much overtakes the game's polish. That being said, the game is only $10 on most platforms, and I think it's a fair price for the experience it gives. The game is also No Nut November friendly, as there's no nudity or sex scenes. Hell, there isn't even a panty shot, and I can only recall one scene where a character is almost caught naked. I played the version on PS4, but it's also available for PC, Vita, and Nintendo Switch. While I enjoyed the game on the PS4, I would have preferred this on the Switch, as it's the type of game that almost works better in a handheld format. Regardless of your chosen platform, you're in for a fun ride back to the 90s. Thanks for watching another Quick Hunts. Special thanks to Sometimes You for sending a review copy of the game. Shout out to my Patreons here on screen. If you'd like to support me, get early access to videos, behind the scenes extras, and a whole lot more, consider supporting me on Patreon. If you enjoyed this content, why not give it a like and share? And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. You can also get updates by following me on Facebook at Zeromaster fanpage, on Twitter at Zeromaster, and on twitch.tv/Zeromaster, where I stream 3 times a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like some more reviews, check out my previous review for Remembrance Day on the left. And on the right, check out my pal Brother Kirby's Pokemon Sword review. Thanks again for watching, and good luck with No Nut November. Also, happy Thanksgiving to all my American folk out there, even though it was like 6 weeks ago. Why? Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Hunts. For this year's Remembrance Day, we'll be taking a look at another tactical RPG for the Switch, Tiny Metal Full Metal Rumble. I was given a review copy by Kyle Prahl from Area 34 Incorporated. Thanks, Kyle. The easiest way to describe Full Metal Rumble is it's like a mix of Advance Wars, Gemfire, and Planet X2. Essentially, it is a tactical and strategy RPG with RTS elements. In the game, you command the White Fangs, Artemisian Army, and Zippany Shogunate against the tyrannical Denoldan Army. As such, the story is told from the perspective of each faction's respective leaders. Nathan Grease is a captain of the Artemisian Army. His primary goal is to put an end to the Denoldan Army, and cease their efforts related to lost tech artifacts. Wolfram is the leader of the White Fangs. She's in search of her older brother, who is said to have been killed in action. Izuriko Tsukumo is the leader of the Zippany Shogunate. He wants revenge against the Denoldan Army for trying to take over his country. Throughout the story, we will place each of the previously mentioned military factions for the common goal of defeating the Denoldan Army. While the reasons differ, all paths lead to the same end goal essentially, so it's all self-explanatory. Now on to the gameplay. Like I mentioned earlier, the game is a tactical and strategy RPG. Like most games of this genre, you have a turn in which you can move units, create units, or engage in combat. There are several different types of units, however. Infantry units move in groups of 10. While they tend to be on the weaker side, they are the least expensive to deploy and can take over bases on the map. Taking over bases means more options for combat and gives you an advantage over your opponents. Some bases can even be used to deploy more units or heal units as well. Eventually, you'll have to capture the enemy's main base in order to win a match, as they will attempt to do the same to you. There are also armored units such as tanks and vipers. These units have greater firepower and armor, but they cost more to create and cannot claim a base. These units also have different types of ammunition and numbers as well. Then there's the Archelian personnel carrier that can be used to transport infantry units. Finally, there are special units such as scouts and radars, which can be used to clear fog, locate enemies, or expand the map. Combat itself is grid-based and works on different levels of terrain. On top of that, the entire map is not visible from the start. As you move units, more of the map will become visible. This can be used to your advantage, as some units can hide in sections of the map that are not discovered and get in a sneak attack. Certain terrain is also only available to certain units. For example, only the infantry units can go up mountains, but their range can be limited when attacking enemies below them. All these options combined made for very deep combat that was more complex than your typical tactical RPG, but not as complex as an RTS. However, it's not all great. Some battles can take hours to complete, and this is mostly because you're either spending time building up units or getting units across the map. It also has the same problem I have in the Super Robot Wars series, where some actions require a story trigger before anything happens, thus leading to a lot of waiting around. The time it takes to build up resources to deploy units or take over a base is also time consuming, especially considering the latter, as you cannot attack or defend when taking over a base. And if you lose units, it takes even longer. If you lose all the units in a base takeover or switch from focusing on takeover to another action, it resets and you have to start the process over again. Despite my gripes, I really do enjoy the combat, and being on the Switch makes it easy to drop in and play at any time. While the battles can be long, the campaign itself is short with around 20 missions, equaling out to a solid 20 to 40 hours of gameplay depending on how efficient you are in combat. The game's presentation is fairly good. The art style of the cutscenes is very well detailed, while in battle it goes for a simpler approach. Graphically, it's not super intense, going for a simplified cel-shaded and polygonal look to give this game an easy to register aesthetic. The sound department is also very good. Voice acting in both Japanese and English is well done. Even the voices for generic soldiers sound great. Most of the voice acting is reserved for the story segments, however some phrases are heard in battle as well. The sound effects work very well in this game. Weapon sounds, while unrealistic, feel right and are appropriately used. The music, however, is weak. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but it's very generic sounding, in terms of it being stereotypical army combat music. Not a deal breaker for sure, but it's not going to turn any heads either. And that just about does it for Tiny Metal. This game was a perfect warm-up, as I played it before Fire Emblem Three Houses was released. While it's not as polished as, say, a Fire Emblem game, it makes up for it in the gameplay department. If you are looking to scratch that tactical RPG itch, and Ambition of the Slime just didn't do it for you, you can't go wrong with Tiny Metal. While it's available on PlayStation 4, Steam, and Mac OS, I personally recommend the Switch version as it can be easily picked up and played at any time. Thanks for watching another Quick Hunts. Special thanks to Area 34 Inc. for sending me a review copy of the game. Shout out to my patrons here on screen. If you'd like to support me, get early access to videos, behind the scenes extras, and a whole lot more, consider supporting me on Patreon. If you enjoyed this content, why not give it a like and a share? And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. You can also get updates by following me on Facebook at Zeromaster fanpage, on Twitter at Zeromaster, and on twitch.tv/Zeromaster, where I stream twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like some more reviews, check out my recent Halloween reviews on the left, and on the right will be Nightman's new review on Sonic Forces, where I make a cameo. Thanks again for watching, and maybe go support our veterans by wearing a poppy. Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Hunts. For this month of Spoopyween, I figured I'd throw out a short review of the new mobile game from Konami, Castlevania Grimoire of Souls. As the name indicates, this is a game in the Castlevania series, and the first of which is on a mobile platform. So, how does it fare? The story of Grimoire of Souls is that Dracula is trying to revive using an alternate dimension from the Grimoire. What is it with me and vampires and evil grimoires? Now it's up to Alucard, Simon, and many other characters from the series to prevent Dracula's return. Luckily, we have the help of our supporter Lucy Westenra, and she's pretty freaking hot too. The game plays like you would expect a Castlevania game to play, classic side-scrolling action. Considering I was expecting this to be some kind of card or gacha game, I'm fairly impressed. Man, first Rockman X-Dive, and now this? Mobile games be stepping up. The classic formation is here with main and sub-weapons, sidearms, and even special moves and item crashes. There's even an input for backdash. All this with some customizable touch controls, and they are fairly responsive. Sliding and double jumping is now available to all characters as well. Speaking of characters, there's quite the roster this time. Alucard is who you start the game with, and he controls pretty much how he did in Symphony of the Night. And even has his ability to transform into a bat. Cool. Simon Belmont is unlocked next, and he has been updated with more modern gameplay additions such as the double jump, slide, backdash, and specials. Also, his range is fairly large for a melee user. Maria is also in this game, and oh my god, she is adorable! She uses her doves to attack like in Rondo of Blood, and her specials are based on beasts. My favorite is the little cat uppercut when she launches an enemy into the air to stun them, and then catches them while airborne. It's adorable. There's also a few more characters, but I only am able to show what I've unlocked. Each character has a set of equipment that can be customized and upgraded. Upgrades come in the form of gems, which is one of the game's consumable items. If you know anything about mobile games, you're probably familiar with these. As your characters level up, their upgrade potential increases as well. You'll need to power up your characters to survive later levels, which means you'll need to level up your characters as well. Sadly, unlike Rockman X-Dive, the difficulty spikes up much quicker, so you'll need to get those levels and upgrades fairly quickly in order to be able to survive those stages. Luckily, the game does include daily missions you can do to earn more gems and experience to alleviate the farming and grinding. The stage layout is similar to Rockman X-Dive, where stages are broken up into smaller segments. Each segment includes your standard platforming action, ending with an enemy gauntlet. The biggest change here is that each segment feels longer, which in the long run is good, but the stage maps are also bigger. Rockman X-Dive had 5 segments and a boss, whereas stages have 3 levels of segments, each containing 5 per row, which eventually lead to a boss at the end. I appreciate this game gives a lot of content right out of the gate, but sheesh, does this feel more like a money grab. It doesn't help that the difficulty spikes are way higher in this one. For example, Stage 1-2's enemies are 10 times more powerful than the previous stages, and that just keeps increasing, incentivizing level and weapon upgrades. This means that unless you are keen on grinding, you're going to need to cough up some real money to gain an advantage, which kinda sucks. I also don't like this game has a limited amount of daily continues in the form of feathers. So the game throws so many at you, unless you play this game non-stop, you'll probably never run out. Visuals for this game are very well done. Character models and graphics are fairly detailed, if a little low poly. Stages look and run fairly well with only minor hiccups from time to time. The game uses the library of sound effects from the franchise to great effect. Music is all original or remixed tracks and they sound great. Voice acting is also great and there's a lot of it, Maria being my favorite.
I'll show you what I'm capable of!
Oh yeah, Maria, go get him! If you're a fan of Castlevania, the presentation is a real treat. Despite drawbacks, Castlevania Grimoire of Souls is a fun time waster. This could have easily been a card or gacha game, but the fact that it's a bite-sized side-scroller is just awesome. The game is free to play, but depending on your gaming habits, you may find yourself spending money at some point. Me personally, I'm satisfied just doing the daily missions and maybe playing a level or two a day. Really, that's what this kind of game is made for. Currently, Grimoire of Souls is available on Google's Play Store for Android and Apple's App Store for iOS. I played the Android version, but from what I understand, they're about the same. Anyways guys, that'll do it for this edition of Quick Hunts. Take care and have a scare. Guys, thanks again for watching this review. Quick shout out to my Patreons here on the screen, and if you'd like to get early access to videos, behind the scenes extras, and a whole lot more, consider supporting me on Patreon. If you like this video, maybe give it a like and a share, and subscribe for more videos. And don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. You can also keep up to date with me and my content by following me on Facebook at Zeromaster fanpage, on Twitter at Zeromaster, and follow me on twitch.tv/Zeromaster, where I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like more videos, I'll have my Rockman X Dive review on the left, and on the right I'll have an episode of my music review show monthly album review. Thanks again for watching, and stay spoopy. Welcome to Alpha as Cash, where we look at betas, alphas, and early access games. Today we'll be taking a look at the closed beta of Rockman X Dive. Rockman X Dive is a side-scroller shooter for mobile devices by Capcom Taiwan. They are a division of Capcom that works on mobile games. This is their first attempt with the Mega Man franchise, and it's the first Mega Man X game since 2005's Mega Man X8, not including compilations, remakes, or re-releases. That being said, there is a bar that has been raised very high. Does it result in a great game? Truth be told, that's not a question that can be answered in this video, but let's see how our first taste of this new game goes. The story is from the point of view of the player being sucked into cyberspace. Thankfully, the Reploid operator Rico is here to help us out. From there, you play through the tutorial stages to get used to the controls, which for touchscreen controls work well enough. Eventually, you'll run into a mysterious former Deep Log administrator who is a recolor of Zero, original character Do Not Steal. He informs you of what is happening in cyberspace and how your help is required to save cyberspace and so you can escape. And that's about it before going into spoilery territory. The game plays very similarly to previous Mega Man X games. First and foremost, this is a side-scrolling shooter like the other games that adds additional mechanics for the mobile platform. Jumping, shooting, dashing, wall climbing, and targeting work the same, but the game also introduces elements similar to games like Gunstar Heroes, Contra, and Metal Slug, such as tons of enemies, enemy gauntlets, and big boss battles. You can also customize your character's main and sidearms with different blasters, swords, and other such weapons. Charge Out has also been given its own dedicated button, and there are now boss weapon enhancements. This is the first Mega Man X game where all weapons have ammo that has a refill cooldown. Yes, even the X-Buster has ammo. This is to stop spamming and adds a new layer of challenge to the game. Being a mobile game, it does include standard power-ups and unlocks. We already mentioned weapons and boss powers, which can be upgraded, but you can also unlock additional characters, armor, and much more. This game will contain microtransactions when released, but from my playtime I was able to unlock stuff at a very quick pace. This is a closed beta however, so it's still possible they could change this in the full release. I just hope this doesn't become a money grab like a certain kart racer. Sadly, that could mean a few games. In any case, the microtransactions do not seem egregious at this stage. Stages are split into 5 segments and a boss fight, which works well for the mobile platform. Playing with both the touch buttons and my SN30 Pro controller, the game plays really well and feels like a Mega Man X game. I know, I'm shocked too. Now that doesn't mean there aren't some problems. The game does have quite a few translation errors as far as the English version is concerned. Not sure about other languages. The tutorials were very overbearing, meaning they had to be done or you couldn't progress. This became annoying when all I wanted to do was play more stages, but the game forced me into learning about mechanics that I'm sure will be used for microtransactions in the future. I also had a really hard time mapping buttons to my controller. It took quite a few attempts to make it work right. Presentation is middle of the road for this game. Graphics are alright. It's not super pretty, but this is also a mobile game, so it's expected. Menus are easy enough to navigate and function okay as well. The voice acting is actually pretty good, despite how minimal it is. However, it's only in Japanese with no indication of other languages coming in the future. The music is a mix of classic tunes and remixes, and they're pretty good. All the sound effects are from previous Mega Man X games, with a lot of sounds being used from the PS1 and PS2 titles for that nostalgic feel. So far, Rockman X Dive is shaping up to be quite the game. I was worried when I started hearing about this game that it'd be another RPG or on-rails runner-style game like Rockman Crossover was, but I was pleasantly surprised at what I got to play. I am very excited to try this game out when the full version gets released. If you're a fan of retro games and are on the fence about some of those franchises having mobile entries, fear not, this one plays really well, and is worth your time. Hey guys, thanks for watching this new alpha as. Quick shout out to my Patreons here on screen, and if you'd like to support my content, you can do so at patreon.com/Zeromaster. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider subscribing to my channel, Zeromaster Reviews. You can also get updates on facebook.com/Zeromaster fan page, follow me on Twitter @Zeromaster, or you can follow me on twitch.tv/Zeromaster, where I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like more content, on the left you can see my recent plug and play on the River City Gamers channel, and on the right you can see my recent video where I gave my thoughts on Fate Extella. Thanks again for watching, we'll see you next time. Hey guys, sorry I was late. Had to take care of something right after I went live, so my bad. Hi Esky, hi Blondie, hi Florg. Yes, Blondie, I know both of those mobile reviews didn't age well. At least one of those games still exists, though. There's at least that, I guess. Anyways, hello. Hope everybody's having a good night. We are going to start off the night with the PlayStation technical presentation hosted by Mark Cerny. That came out earlier today. It's apparently really short. So we might look at some of the recent trailers that came out today too, because there's quite a bit. Or 2.5 of Honkai Star Rail. It's updating in the background. So whatever we decide to do, it's going to happen at some point. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting for too long. You've already been waiting long enough. So
you got a refractor shard. Floggy Steve cheered. X5, the PlayStation Quinsel Pro.
The PlayStation Quinsel Pro. There's still a little bit of that Castlevania one close before I could even finish its story. Yeah, I wish they had done. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? I wish they had done what. Sorry, you guys are going to hear some gamer drink shaking in the background. I wish they had gone the Mega Man X Dive route and released like an offline version that you could just buy outright. I mean, they still could technically do that at some point, but because you never know, maybe they'll do like another Castlevania collection because there's still the PS2 games and the N64 games and stuff like that, and stuff like Castlevania Rebirth. Maybe they would do a version that doesn't have microtransactions in that game and they just add it into that collection or something. Who knows? They could still do that. There's nothing stopping them from doing that unless the source code's gone. But I don't know. Mega Man X Dive Offline apparently has been doing very well. I still haven't played it yet. I haven't played Mega Man X Dive since the beta from that review that I did. That was the last time I played it. So who knows? I was thinking of starting to play it at some point for y'all, but we'll see. Anyway, still a lot of this stuff that needs to mix up. Sorry, you're gonna hear the mixing a little bit. Though I'm sure nobody minds. Yeah, you guys don't mind if I do some mixing, right? Okay. And the worst part about that too is that Castlevania game is really fun. Like I enjoyed that game a lot. And I didn't get very far in it either. I think I got to the second world, and that's when I started hitting a wall, and that's when I was like, oh, it's becoming one of those kind of games where if you want to progress faster, you got to pay, or, you can grind. Which apparently the grind wasn't that high in that game. It was definitely shorter than other games. Shadow Legends, sorry. But yeah, no. I think it'd be cool if they did an offline version of that. The only caveat with the offline version of Mega Man X Dive is that there's no crossover stuff. And when I say no crossover stuff, like with other Capcom properties and stuff like that, it's only all the Mega Man stuff. Like all the Mega Man series stuff is available, like from other Mega Man games, but none of the crossover event stuff is available in that, which sucks. But hey, you can unlock everything through progression instead of playing the gacha. Excuse me. Anyways, y'all been waiting long enough. Let's watch this thing. Switch over to that. Okay. All right. Here we go. PlayStation 5 Pro technical presentation. Hosted by Mark Cerny. Let's do it. RP to okay.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny.
Hi,
I'm
Mark
excited to
Cerny.
be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience. When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames.
Hey, man, some people would argue it does.
PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore. Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections
It's really cool
off
that
of
it
wire
has
or
ray
glass,
tracing in their base PS5.
and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed.
I remember that was the
resulting
big
in
selling for the
ultra-fast
PS5.
transitions between
Was the
game
SSD.
and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it.
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller
I love
has
the
haptics
DualSense,
that
I
let
gotta
you
say.
feel through your hands
Getting to use
what your
my
character is
brother's when he was
experiencing
here, it
inside
feels
of the
great.
game.
It's a great controller, especially since
It's
the PS4
wonderful to
controller
see
was kind
such
of a downgrade
variety
in my
and
opinion.
richness of game
So,
experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware
turn this down a little
capabilities, but
bit.
when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate
I
and
honestly prefer
interactivity,
frame rate
typically
anyways.
choosing to run at 60 frames per second,
I'd rather have the game run well than look pretty. You know what I mean?
mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result
It's not
is
69%
rendering that's up to
more powerful?
45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of.
Before I go on, I just want to talk about the one AI technology I am interested in is the upscaling one. Just because there's so much like early internet footage that is stuck in like 240p and lower, and it's getting to the point where a lot of those videos can be upscaled to a higher resolution. It's the only AI thing I really am like into. Everything else, like the images, music, art, stuff like that, don't really care for any of that. I don't like Chat GPT. I don't like any of that stuff. But the AI upscaling has been around for quite a while. And when I say that, I don't mean those new things that generate AI videos. That's different. That's again, it's stealing. But the AI upscaling is I'm okay. That's one I'm okay with because it actually does enhance some things. The only thing is I'm kind of mixed on it being in a game console because okay, so if you want to upscale, just do line doubling. I don't know why that's difficult. Line double, like the biggest. I mean, I remember one of the biggest complaints of the last generation was, oh, the consoles are only like 900p. Line double that shit. Like, I mean, I'm no technical whiz when it comes to game stuff, but like, think about, um, think about things like the FrameMeister or the RetroTink or the OSSC, stuff like that for retro stuff. It reprocesses the image using the RGB signal to make it upscale. So, for example, for people who don't understand, the for most retro consoles, the most sought after resolution you want on your output is 240p. Now, you might be hearing that and thinking like 240p video from like YouTube and stuff. No. It's just raw RGB video. And the reason retro consoles don't look so good on a modern TV is because it gets stretched. Because it has to take that small signal and stretch it. That's where you get things like the RetroTink and the FrameMeister and the OSSC, stuff like that, that line doubles or adjusts the resolution. And it's good that we have an ad break here because I'm going to continue talking about this before I go back into that. And so my thought is that if you can do that with retro consoles, you can certainly do that with modern consoles. I don't own a RetroTink 5K or 5X or whatever. There's the 5X and there's the 4K. Yeah, the 5 it's confusing. But I'm pretty sure you can take like 900p Xbox footage, like Xbox One footage, and line double that to like 1440p. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to ask somebody like OneRoll if that's possible. Because the idea is you can get it up to 4K. I wish OneRoll was here so I could ask him this question. Let me actually. He's not live or anything, is he? No, he's not live. He's playing Destiny 2. Okay, well I won't bother him right now. But yeah, no, it's like I think that's the way we should be going, not AI upscaling. I mean, this is fine. In all intents and purposes, this is fine. But we have a good method now, and I'm just not sure why they're not doing that. Maybe it doesn't work great for HD footage. I'm not sure. Again, I'd have to ask somebody who actually owns one of these devices, like OneRoll. And I think he's busy right now, so we'll ask him another time. You know what? I'll message it to him, and if he replies to me, then we'll talk about it. Hey, question for you. Have you say through your upscalers to upscale? If so, how does it look? Okay. Hi, TK.
They want my yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see if OneRoll replies to my question later. Let's continue with the PlayStation 5 Pro thing here.
The games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the big three involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro.
Oh, OneRoll got back to me. What did he say? Oh, he hasn't tried it yet. Name this AI scaling name. Okay, anyway, sorry for interrupting the thing. We'll continue and we'll take a look what he says after.
It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier. This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
I can't really tell that much of a difference.
For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer.
I mean, yes,
and here
but
we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars.
okay, but what if I just line doubled it? Like all these things, I'm like, look at how detailed this is. Or I could just play, you know. I mean, I guess yes, technically yes. The fidelity mode does not look as good because it's more focused on frame rate than detail, and the PS5 Pro can do both at the same time, technically. But I don't know. I just seems like a minuscule kind of upgrade. It's an improvement, not mind-blowing. Exactly. And I'm just like, if I really wanted that improvement, part of me is like, just upscale it. Just upscale a smaller resolution or something. If that's even looks remotely good. Unfortunately, OneRoll has not tested with any of consoles if he's tried line doubling anything. I asked if he tried line doubling like the PS3, PS4, or the Xbox One from like 720 or 900p up to 4K to see what they'd look like. But no, yeah, like it's neat, but it's not really doesn't really do anything for me, I guess. As somebody who already runs like PC games on lower fidelity for performance because of streaming, graphic detail does not matter to me, but I know it does matter to some people. So
overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate.
Really concerned about this.
But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects.
Like, okay. Another thing I'm just gonna cut in. I know I keep cutting in. There's only 3 minutes of this video left. So I don't own a PS5 yet. I'm planning to get one. Thanks to all y'all's support. I've been saving the money I get from Twitch and Patreon and stuff to get a PS5 so I can do Silent Hill 2 when it comes out. As well as other games I want to get as well. If I don't get it in time, I can still get the PC version of Silent Hill 2, but I want a physical copy. On higher quality TV screens. I mean, I'm sure it is, But here, the point I'm about to make is I didn't think the PS5 looked that much better than the PS4. But I mean, it was cool because it had a PS4 Pro mode in it for PS4 games.
You got a refractor shard. Floggy Steve cheered. X5. Speaking of money, here's some more Zero.
Thanks, Florg. Let's see. Are you? Oh wow, yeah, you're beating Nightman. You took Nightman's crown on. Oh yeah, we talked about that. You're the bit god now. You took. I mean, Pure Fortune's the true bit god, but you are the bit god technically now because Pure Fortune's now in third, and that puts Nightman down to second. Man, just calculating how much that is, I'm like, damn, y'all must really like me. Yeah, I beat Nightman by much though, so give it time. He might come back. Who knows? But anyways, yeah. So, I don't. Even when PS5 came out, I didn't think it looked that much better than PS4. And I recently played, well, not recently, but last year. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. Might have been the year before. When I played Resident Evil 4 Remake, I got it on PS4.
You got a refractor shard.
Thanks, Nightman.
39 cheered. X8, all for Zero's PS5 Enik 1 Goramajima.
It's near neck and neck, yeah. When I played it on PS4, I still thought the game looked damn good. Obviously, I could see a couple of some of the cracks, because it wasn't as it was the previous gen version, not the current gen. But I gotta say, it looked pretty damn good still. I still think it looked pretty damn good. And I mean, but that could also be the RE engine doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Because the RE engine is pretty fucking good looking. So, but yeah, no, I haven't had any, there's no, initially there was no reason for me to want to get a PS5. In general, just makes games look beautiful. Exactly. That's why they use it for Monster Hunter Rise, and they're probably using it for Wilds, it looks like. So, but no, yeah, I just didn't I don't see a real, for a long time, I didn't see a real point to upgrade. When games started becoming only on PS5 is when I was like, okay, I guess it's time I get one. And plus, there were some games that I held off playing because I wanted to play on PS5. You had your reason 2 years ago? Yeah. My reason now is Silent Hill 2, plus other games that are Data Boy Ragnarok. Yeah, I gotta play that too. I gotta play the first Data Boy. I need to renew my my PlayStation Plus subscription because I have the first one on PS Plus, and I'm thinking of renewing it when I get a PS5 because there's other games I want to play online for PS5. But yeah, no, I guess the way I look at it is I didn't really care about the upgrade and quality of the console. I cared about the games, which ultimately is what sells the console, is the games. Playing Spider-Man 2 are pretty good too. Yeah, I still play the Spider-Man games too, and I want to play that Ratchet and Clank game. That was the thing that really impressed me about the PS5, that Ratchet and Clank game. But so when I finally do get it, Silent Hill 2 stream's happening, and then other PS5 games that I've been thinking about streaming too. Anyways, let's continue this. There's only 3 minutes left of this thing.
As well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is
where you really see
big wins for Hogwarts Legacy.
Boo.
Allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism
You
in
got
the
a
casting
refractor
of
shard.
shadows.
The Nightman 39 cheered.
I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the
X6. Now,
technology
if only
behind
we had the
PlayStation
other
5
Sony
Pro.
duo RIT
Simply
Jack and
put, it's the
Daxter.
most powerful
Yeah.
console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Okay, let's take a look.
You'll never
Damn it!
You got a
I'm muting the
refractor
music.
shard. The Nightman 39 cheered. X5. Fuck JK Rowling.
Exactly. See, I think that looks cooler. The PS5 Pro looks cooler. Is this still music? No, they switched over to actual game music, I guess. Wow, Final Fantasy, wow. Wow.
close your eyes. It'll be
Ew.
worth it.
Okay.
Ew.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
Oh shit. They should send the Silent Hill. So, copyrighted music. Oh well, we were showing cars. God, I hope we get more Venom stuff in the next Spider-Man game. That'd be nice. Oh, is this butt game? Is that the Demon Souls? Wow. Games sure look pretty, don't they? We get green. Okay. Okay. I heard about this earlier.
You got a refractor shard. Floggy Steve cheered. X10. They want people to fork out nearly $800 to get the equivalent of a disk drive PS5 Pro? No, thank you. I'm good with my current PS5.
So, I was thinking today, like I just thought, I didn't look at any of the rumors or anything for this, but I was thinking today, I'm like, I wonder if my audience would prefer if I just saved for a PS5 Pro. And then I saw the price for such a minuscule upgrade, and I'm like, no. I don't think they would. No one was happy with the price, to say the least. I mean, yeah, this is like worse than PS3. Like, this is worse than PS3. Like, yeah, okay, there wasn't a PS3 Pro. Fair. That's the digital only console is $690. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. And by the way, I want to get a PS5 Pro with a disc tray. Though I've considered doing what my brother did, buying a digital and getting a separate disc tray that you can attach, because my fear is in the future, if the disc drive fails, it's going to be hard to fix it. So being able to just buy another one and hook it up later is kind of what I was thinking. So, okay, that's the one thing that I don't like about the Xbox Series S. There's no disc drive whatsoever. You can't even buy one for it. Which I'm like, I would happily pay to get the Xbox. Like, I almost got an Xbox Series S until I learned that. And I was like, Xbox would have won for me this generation. But no disc drive, unless only if you buy the Series X. It's like, it's stupid. For something I paid $500 for, kiss my ass, Sony. Yeah, consider myself lucky. Also, with tax, it'll be over $1,000. Exactly. Like, okay, so let's just do basic math here. Let's go to let's say let's see USD to CAD. Okay, so 1.3 Canadian dollars is $1 US. Okay, so let's put this in here. Let's put $700 US. Yeah, $952. $952. $950 fucking dollars. And then I'm gonna pull up my calculator here. You guys won't see this, but like, let's do 950. Let's just say it's 950. and let's add in the sales tax. Okay. Yeah, almost $1,100 Canadian after tax. 700. See, that's the part I don't understand. Let me go back to it here. They're selling it for $6.99 American, but then they're selling it for 700. They're selling it for 700 American, and then 700 pounds. The pound is worth, isn't it worth more than the U.S. dollar? Why is it this? Why is it not the accurate price? And it's 800 euros. Oh my god, it's over $1,000 in yen. That's crazy. See, I don't understand that. Why wouldn't they just adjust it for? Okay, let me get back to my this, and let's change this to it's Great British Pound in here. I would think it's in here. Okay, USD to GBP. 0.76 pounds sterling is $1 US. Okay, let's put this at 700. Yeah, they should be selling it for 550 pounds. I could understand. But they're selling it for the same price. How much is 700 pounds? That's almost that. Again, that's almost $1,000 American. That's insane to me. International pricing stuff involved? Oh, I'm sure, but like, Jesus. It's actually cheaper if you come here and buy a PS5 and go back to the UK with it. like a PS5 Pro. Like, it's insane to me. Like, yeah. So if there's anybody who really, really, really wants me to get a PS5 Pro for the one to use for streaming, I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen. I'll be saving for that forever. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm gonna be going on a trip soon, I'd probably have the PS5 right now. Because the money combined that I've saved plus the money that from you guys would have been more than enough for me to get the console and then a couple of games. But yeah, this ain't it, Chief. Like this ain't it. $1,000 Canadian. The PS5's already overpriced here, and they want $1,000 for this thing. That's half the price of what my PC cost when I got it made in, or when I got it in 2020. That's half my PC's cost. And I saw a PC today that was shared by friends in another server. It was like 110,000 yen, and had an RTX 4060 in it. It had an older Ryzen GPU in it and only 16 gigs of RAM, but you can upgrade that easily. But like, no disk drive and stand included, so add that. Yeah. Honestly, I'm like, there's vertical. I just noticed vertical stands sold separately. That's ridiculous. I would only ever get this if I, like, say, won the lottery, or, I'd have to have gained a mass amount of money. Maybe if I sold Hagane, I could afford this. I actually have been considering selling that just to help pay for a PS5. Like, I've been considering trading that in. Because I asked a local game store what they would give me for it in the condition it's in, and it was around what I was expecting to get for it. But I'm also just like, I want to hold on to that as my emergency, I'm screwed and I need money quick thing, because I know how much I can get out of it now. A disk drive separately is asinine. They should always be inside. Okay, so let me ask this question. Before I click on this, if they show more, if you have to buy a disk drive separately, will the regular PS5 disk drive work on the Pro, or does it have its own proprietary disk drive? Because if that's the case, that is fucked. Like, that is beyond fucked that they would do that. Like, that's so anti-consumer. I wonder. Let me just hit play and see what happens. They show anything else? No. Is there anything else after this? No. It's just a black screen. Okay. Okay. So anyways, back to this. The fact that you have to buy different... Yeah. I just... Wow. Wow, that sucks. How much more? Okay, how much does a regular PS5 go for in Canada? Let me just see. How much does a regular PS5 go? Where's my phone? Oh, it's in my pocket. Silly. Okay. Let's see. S5. The Slim goes for... The Slim console with the disc drive is $650 Canadian. Without the disc drive, it's about $580. So, cool, like releasing Astrobot to this. Yeah, Astrobot looks really cool. I've been watching One Roll play it. If I wanted to go to Best Buy to get a PlayStation 5 right now, a Slim, with a disc drive, it's $650 Canadian. So it's $300 Canadian more to buy, before tax, to buy the Pro. Did they put $300 plus worth of tech in it? I can't say yes or no to that because I don't know. To review it too, it's fun. Nice. I do want to try it. That's one of the PS5 games I want to try. I just... This ain't it, Chief. Like, this ain't it. Like... God, a $300 increase for only like a fifth, like not even a 50% graphical boost or like GPU boost. Like, here's what I want to know. I want to know what the specs of the GPU in the PS5 Pro are. Just give me one sec. PS5 Pro GPU specs. GPU equivalent. Okay. Okay. Best comparison 4060 Ti. Okay. Okay, so people are saying, wait, hold on. Closest equivalent to graphics card in the PS5 GPU. Okay, so my graphics card in my computer is around the PS5, regular PS5's power, because I have an RTX 2060 Super, and the PS5's equivalent is about a 2070. So, PS5's comparable to my gaming PC currently, except for maybe processor and other things. The Pro is more comparable to a 4060 Ti. Okay. That's quite a graphical boost, I guess. But it doesn't make things look that much better, just based on what they showed. Maybe it's different if I see the console myself, but I just, so far, my head says this is not worth it. This is not worth it at all. The $300 for a 45% performance boost is not worth it. And yeah, the 40 series RTX cards are expensive. I've seen them go like over $1,000 for some of the higher end ones. But like, it's just if you compare your current GPU, like upgrading, let's say we compared upgrading from a 2070 to a 4070. So I just want to see that real quick. Sorry, 4060. Price difference. RTX 2070 to 4060 Ti. Let's just see. And there's not even a significant boost in those cards, so. Okay, so the RTX 4060 Ti, its MSRP is $400. That's its MSRP, 400 American. What is the 27? Okay, RTX 2070 price. Okay, the current price for the RTX 2070, it's an old card, is 175. So almost double the price for a 4060 Ti. Just a little bit over double the price than the RTX 2070. So even comparing oranges to apples, or apples to oranges, however, or trying to make a PC spec that's comparable, if you wanted to upgrade from a 2070 to a 4060 Ti, the difference in cost would only be about like $225. And the PS5 to the PS5 Pro is about $300. So I guess when you look at it that way, it's not that big of a price jump. However, upgrading your GPU is a lot cheaper than upgrading your entire console to a new one, because you have to buy a new console. You can't just put a new GPU in the PS5. I'm okay, maybe you can, but it's not going to work properly because it's not going to have drivers and shit. It's not going to work properly. But having to buy a whole new console, I don't know. And let's say even, okay, you trade your PS5 in to get the PS5 Pro. You're going to get like half or less than what they're worth new. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Not to mention transferring the save data. Yeah, exactly. That's a pain. So you'd have to buy the Well, I mean, I guess a cloud save, not a big deal, but that's only for games that have cloud save. Some games don't, as far as I know. So, I guess my thoughts on this are, not doing the Pro. It's just a fucking ripoff. Like $1,100 after tax Canadian. $1,100. That's insane to me. Like, if I went for the Pro, we'd be going another 6 months trying to save up for that, guys. I'd be going at least another 6 months. Or at least 3 months. Like, I wouldn't be getting to PS5 games until next year at the earliest. So, I think I'm cool with getting just a regular PS5. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll go down in price. Because here's what I'm thinking. If I can't get one when Silent Hill 2 drops, my goal is to get one on Black Friday because it'll be significantly cheaper. And just a regular PS5. And that's when basically you would have to get them, because I have a feeling they're going to stop selling the regular PS5 and just focus on selling this. I hope that's not the case, because that wasn't the case with the PS4. But who knows? Because I don't know. I do not see a big enough of a jump. So, and let me put it this way. At the time, I didn't see a big enough of a jump between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. But the fact is, it's quite a leap on the PS4 Pro. I could actually see the difference, because my roommate, Starfield, Space Ghost, whatever he wants to go by it that day, he has a PS4 Pro, and the games look fantastic compared to my launch PS4. But mine has Darth Vader on it, so I think mine's cooler. So there really is no reason for me to want to get the Pro. I'll save that $300+ and get just the standard one then. Let me actually see. Okay, so let's do some more math. Okay, let's say I get the. Let's compare the digital versions, I guess. So, about 580 for the or sorry, 580s for the disc tray one. Let's say digital. Okay. Oh no, 580s for the digital. Yeah. So let's 580. Okay. So let's say we're comparing the digital ones. So just doing quick math, 580 and this is all Canadian prices. So 580 13% sales tax. It's going to cost me about $655. So it's just shy of $700 to get a regular PS5 in Canada after tax. And that's my goal. And I'm pretty close to that goal. If we compare to this one, let's say, okay, 950 times the sales tax, that plus 950. So you're looking at almost 1100, about 1730.5. So that's minus the what did I say? 655. Okay, in Canadian it's worse. It's an over $400 difference between just the digital versions of the Pro and the regular. That's insane. Like, that's more than a GPU upgrade. Like, it's actually, it's actually still cheaper to just buy. Well, I guess get Canadian prices, it wouldn't be cheaper to buy just a 4070 Ti or 4060 Ti. But still, like, it's pretty comparable. So it's cool seeing the technical specs, but I'm honestly not impressed. Sony could have done so much better, but they didn't. But anyways, guys, I'm cutting this stream off short because there's a friend's stream I want to hop on real quick, and then we're going to do Toker Tuesday because we got the movie tonight. So thank you for joining me for a short stream. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that they're live. My friend Gage from LTN, she's the birthday girl today. It's her birthday. Is she live yet? I hope to God she's live. If she's not live yet, that's gonna suck because I was saving my raid for her. Gage Neumann, you live? Here, you might have just gone live. I don't know. Not live yet. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll try to raid her. I'll be right back. I muted myself. Hey guys, I'm back. I think Gage is live, so this will be perfect. Oh, she's doing the one thing. She's got Medi and Reiko there with her. Yeah, let's raid Gage because it's her birthday. And I'm gonna make a custom raid message tonight. So give me 1 second here while I put that together. See. I'll make both versions. I'll make a version that you guys can use and a version for okay. Okay, so people who are subbed, whatever, we're gonna use this one. We're gonna use this raid message. Just gonna make a note of this real quick so I have a copy of it. Yeah, okay. And if you're not subbed, that's okay. I'm gonna let's see. We'll use the party hat instead for that. So this will be the raid message if you're not subbed to me. That's fine. You can use either one. Okay. Now let me start the actual raid. So let's see. Flash raid. Ah, oops. That's not right. I have to copy and paste from her stream. Silly. Okay, so let's do this. Do that. Okay. All right, guys. Follower, subscriber only. That's fine. All right. So, guys, like I said, we're gonna use this raid message right here. If you're subbed. If you're not, we're gonna use this raid message right here. If you want to join us for Toku Tuesday tonight to watch the movie, you're going to have to come over here to watch on my Discord server. You can also find my social medias here, my YouTube channels here, and the newest videos on those channels here with new ones coming. And again, if you want to save 10% on your order for gamer drinks from advanced.gg, use my code 010 on checkout. You get 10% off. Sometimes you get 20% off. All right, guys, you know the drill. Take care, comb your hair, and rush, use a brush. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Eat your teeth. See you next time on Cheat. Let's go raid gate. Oh, why is this not copying? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Raid's about to happen. Oh god. Here's the raid message if you're not subbed, and the one if you're subbed will come second. Guys, go say hi to Ray to Gage for her birthday. I'll see you guys later. Bye. 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 Bye.
I'm in some of her videos. I'm the one screaming.
I'm pretty sure I'm in at least one of her videos as well. My schedule doesn't